Welcome to another episode of Tehachapi with your hosts, Key Budge and Corey Costello. Tehachapi is another way the city of Tehachapi shares information with our community.
Welcome to another episode of Tehachapi. Key Budge, Corey Costello today. Greg is taking a day off. Corey, how are you?
Day off from the podcast, not necessarily the day off. You know, it's he's always working, but yeah, day off from the podcast. Put it that way.
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I want to say. If he's not sitting in the chair, then, then he's off.
Days off are rare in general. Like you have to go where you can't be contacted to have a day off, period. Even if you're not physically in City Hall, it's impossible.
And in our society today of the mobile phone, you're never off.
Yeah, exactly. No, that just always seems to text message, email, always seems to follow you. But
you know, with that said, bringing up the text messages, we want to remind everyone about TextMyGov.
Yeah.
And if you haven't signed up for TextMyGov, it's just an easier way to communicate. I had a conversation with a lady today. She called me because she was a little bit having some problems logging in and texting, so I walked her through it. She was from an older generation, but she appreciated that she could just text City Hall instead of having to make phone calls. So that is something that we launched a few weeks ago. TextMyGov is now a part of the city of Tehachapi. And what that means is if you text to our number, hi, you'll be in our system, and then you can put in potholes or trash service or whatever your question is. You can now text it to us, another way to communicate.
And that stuff all gets routed to the website, and usually right away they'll give you the direct sort of form or contact email for the person responsible for that specific spot. They get dealt with on a regular basis and usually fairly quickly. So it is nice. You don't have to make the phone call or, try to search for the email online who you're trying to get. So very effective and thousands of keywords that go to that thing. So if you have an issue, water leak, pothole, street light, trash service, that kind of stuff, feel free to send it to those to that number, which is you're looking up right now. I can tell you're trying to look it up. And
it's 661-441-3844.
There we go. I know there was a lot of fours in there.
Yeah, so 661-441-3844, and just text the word hi, H-I, and you'll be in our system, and you can start to type away and ask questions. And then if you'd like to find out about things that are coming up, special events, if you text in Tehachapi to the quick code of 91896, so that's the phone number area, 91896, Tehachapi, then you'll get our push notifications. And you know what? One of those push notifications is going to be about the farmer's market.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to utilize that. So today's show is about our Tehachapi farmer's market, which has changed hands. It is going to be a little bit different, but much the same. And today, Mariana Gutierrez, right here from City Hall, the new Farmers Market Manager, joins us. Mariana, welcome to Tehachapi.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Did you ever consider when you took this job that you would actually manage a farmer's market at one point?
Not at all. But no, it's very exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And it's a bit challenging here and there, but I'm getting there, and I think it's going to be a good event.
Well, let's talk about the backstory, because a lot of people don't know that when we mention that it's changing hands, what's actually taken place is that Main Street Tehachapi was the nonprofit organization that ran the farmers market and a few other things, has disbanded. And they approached the city. And Corey, you may have been involved in some of those conversations.
Yeah, so apparently the city many moons ago kind of started the farmers market, and then Main Street, being the downtown sort of business group, took it over for many years. And then, COVID put a pretty big strain on their finances, their board leadership, membership. And so they were just kind of turned themselves into sort of an event organization. And they got to the point where it was just, look, this is not what, and downtown is healthy. We don't need Main Street anymore to revitalize downtown, because downtown has been revitalized. And so some of the other organizations out there can kind of work with the businesses. But a couple of their big events were still very successful, and the farmers market was one of them. And then they approached the city and asked about it. We'd be interested to take it over. And we said, absolutely, Mariana would love to do it. And that's essentially how that went down. But no, that was really our chance to take over that event a little bit, improve upon it, to be honest with you. I think Mariana certainly has done that.
Mariana, so what is it like for you as the manager? Here you get it from ground zero. At least there were several months leading up to it. What has been the process like getting ready for this new farmers market?
When they first told me that I'll be taking over farmers market, I had a mini heart attack, but it was exciting. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but as the deeper I dug and I got in contact with Charles White, and he was able to tell me kind of what they've done in the past, the vendors that they've worked with, the sponsorship that they've received from the past, along with how COVID's been last year and how the farmers market was last year and all that. So I gathered all that information. I was able to contact and I mailed that out. I mailed out the application to potential vendors that we were hoping to have at our farmers market this year. We got in contact with the Kern County Health Department. They've been very helpful, helping me step by step as far as what vendor needs a food permit, temporary food permit, health permit, or if they're good to go. So yeah, and then we've gone back a lot of feedback, a lot of great vendors wanting to be part of farmers market, and we just keep growing and growing. We weren't expecting it to be this big, but we're going to definitely make room for all of them, hopefully. But what I've been doing is I've been trying to manage how many vendors we can have, what certain type of vendors we could have. So we're limiting per vendor about 3 of the same kind of vendors. So we have a bunch of variety aside from produce, of course.
I think the produce list is pretty impressive because over the last couple of years, it was tough to get farmers involved because most of the produce is grown, yes, in Kern County, but not necessarily in Tehachapi because our valley, most of the stuff that will grow here blooms a little bit later. So we're talking the August, September, the end of summer crops. So a lot of that fresh stuff needs, more warm soil to grow, and that's found in the valley. And it's a it's a work for these people to load up and come up. A pretty impressive list. I think I was counting like 9 farms in total, which I think might be a record for the farmers market. So that's definitely a job well done.
Yeah, thank you. So we do have about 9 to 10 produce. So we're still getting some in. We have about 7 or 8 other types of vendors like soap, lotions, jewelry. We have handcrafted gifts for birthday party that's coming up, or if you want to gift somebody something local from Tehachapi, or if you're just a visitor. Macrame, I'm pretty excited about macrame for getting planters for our house. Jam and jellies, which have been around for a while, and then some baked goods. We're getting some baked goods from Mosner's and some cake pops from a local baker in town. Yeah, it's exciting. Tamales.
It'll be bigger than last year because COVID made it become very small.
It was very limited last year because of COVID restrictions, and that was only like you had to be a certified farm and you had to grow it right there or make it, in your shop. Like soap, for example, had to be either a household essential item or had to be grown. You had to be a certified farm. So there was no room for people that were kind of on the fringes, might normally be at farmers market, and that was just not a COVID. It was not something the health department could allow last year, but this year it's opened back up.
So we're going to see a larger market because the protocols from the health department have expanded with California reopening. So we're able to expand upon what types of vendors are going to be there. In the past, there's been entertainment, there's been food. What's the situation? I think we're going to see things a little bit differently.
Unfortunately, this year, entertainment is still not allowed. And we kind of wanted to make the farmers market a little more farmery this time around rather than...
Yeah, a little more farmery.
Yeah.
I love the word. See, she started bringing new vocabulary to the message. Yeah.
I wanted handcrafted items or like locally grown, kind of like honey. We're still looking for honey vendors to come through, and one farmer that's going to be selling flowers that we're super, super excited for. You guys can come and get flowers every week for your house.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think the entertainment's challenged too by there's a giant construction project happening right now too. So Village Collective is renovating what was the St. Vincent de Paul former Town and Country Market. And so they've taken a lot of the area because of the safety aspects of their job site. They've taken a lot of Centennial Plaza, including what would be the stage anyway right now. So kind of don't know when that would be freed up. But so while there won't be music, I know the community theater has reached out about doing some stuff, haven't they?
Yes. So they'll be doing entertainment every other week. But the entertainment that they'll be doing, they'll just be going around Green Street and I guess talking to people and doing some
little interactive skits, kind of a
history of Tehachapi deal and stuff
Love
like
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
That'll be cool. Yeah. And then we'll be out there. Tehachapi will make its appearance every once in a while.
I think we definitely need to do a live show. Not a live show, but we'll take the
record a show out there.
Take the whole setup out there and do a show. It'd be fun.
That would be fun. So what else do we have to look forward to? We're still utilizing Green Street, even though the construction's going on at the corner of F and Green. That's not going to have a major impact. It's a mild impact.
So we're hoping to loop around Centennial Plaza. I've gotten some requests for some vendors not to be under the sun and some to be under the sun and all that stuff. So we're going to do our best and fit everybody in.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
And
soap
keep
melts if
everybody
it's
happy.
directly in the sun. Produce doesn't directly.
Yeah,
beat
there's
and
even
go
health
in the sun.
department regulations. I mean, they'll go out there. You'll see inspectors, and they've got little thermometers because you've got to keep things stored, especially like the baked goods. They can't be in the sun and that kind of stuff. So there are really specific requirements for some of this stuff via the health department. We don't want anybody to get any citations or anything.
So we're looking at coming up Green Street and then wrapping through Centennial to the public parking lot area, kind of like the way Trunk or Treat would kind of follow its path
Yes.
in the past.
Correct.
Oh, that'll be cool. We've got some other things that we're trying to do with some of the downtown businesses during the market.
Yeah, so with the economic development side of things, and mobile food vendors are great for certain things. And I always just found it odd that we would bring in, people to come and sell like tacos, and they're right next to a Mexican restaurant that's got a brick and mortar shop in downtown. Right. And that was, how Main Street did it. So Mariana and I spoke about like trying to figure out something different. And I spoke to a couple of restaurant owners in the downtown area about this. And so we're hoping to work with them and help promote their farmers market specials, basically. So they'll have us a food special that we can promote social media, promote at our city table, whatever. And that way we get the people down there to shop and hopefully down there to eat in a restaurant as well, and not necessarily relying on a street vendor.
Well, that would be nice. I'll throw it out, but I don't know that I have a farm to table kind of setting. One of our local restaurants offered a farm to table. Just throwing it out there as an idea. One of those our restaurant entrepreneurs, maybe they'll do a farm to table special.
Sure.
Who knows?
Sure.
We also are going to have expanded dates from the past. Now, last year we did go longer. Tell us, when is the farmers market expected to begin, and how far into the summer will it go?
So farmers market will start June 3rd at 4 p.m. To 7 p.m. and it's going to go all the way through summer to September 30th from 4 to 7.
And that's Thursdays.
Correct. Thursdays 4 to 7, June 3rd to September 30th.
So those extra days, like you said, Corey, that brings in the Tehachapi farmers that are harvesting and lets them give the opportunity to sell what they've worked all summer for.
Yeah, last year I think we had, I know not us, but Main Street had, Haas Apple Farm, and that was the first time they were able to actually participate. And it was, really, really nice, and get some of the local crops out there as well. So that's kind of the goal. And then, yeah, I think people just kind of enjoy our weather is usually nice through the month of September. And I know in the past, Main Street like to usually stop at around the time school got back into session. I think it'll be, I think we saw good attendance last year, even late in the year. So I think the same thing will happen probably this year as well. And you get those local folks involved.
Now, are we still looking for sponsors?
We'll take anybody's money at any point.
There was that long pause of like,
well, we already made the banner.
Of course we can.
Well, yeah, we already made the banner, so then make another banner.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
We've got a couple of great sponsors.
Who?
So far.
Who's come on board?
Adventist sponsoring, and we have Waste Management sponsoring, along with Loop Newspaper sponsoring. We are very grateful and thankful for them. But if you're out there and you're listening to our podcast and you want to sponsor, come and see me at City Hall.
And how can they get a hold of you? What's the best way to do that?
So by phone, 661-822-2200. I'm at extension 102. Or by email, you can email me directly at mgutierrez@tehachapicityhall.com. I'm available via email all day, every day, Monday through Sunday. We'll be at the office from Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
So we've got Adventist Health Tehachapi Valley Hospital, we've got Waste Management, and we've got the Loop Community Newspaper all on board helping support this relaunch, rebirth of the Tehachapi Farmers Market in beautiful downtown.
Yeah.
And one of the, you brought up a key point, Corey, when we talked about the purpose of Main Street Tehachapi was about the revitalization of downtown.
Yeah.
And my gosh, they did a fantastic job between the collaborations that they were able to put together throughout the years. And they should be celebrated because our downtown is like no other downtown, very few downtowns, I should say, because there are a few nice downtowns, old historic areas in California, but ours is right there among the best.
Well, there's a lot that there's several more that are probably more historic. Remember, most of our downtown was wiped out in 1952. Our historic portion was leveled. And so most of these buildings are sort of, they were sort of kind of hodgepodge together after that. But because we have vibrance in our downtown, there are far more historic downtowns, but a lot of them sit empty and vacant,
right?
Because there's no life around them. And I get phone calls all the time, or we've even had people I've met that have brought their city council members to Tehachapi to look at the downtown and say, okay, how'd you do this? We want to try to emulate something as well. And it starts with everything from slowing traffic down. As much as people hate stop signs downtown, there's a reason for that, because if you just zoom on by, you never stop to kind of smell the roses and see what's happening around you. So that sort of provides that calming effect. It's more pedestrian friendly. People can park and walk. And so that's our encouragement. I mean, come to the farmers market, sure, produce, opportunities, all that great stuff, but the downtown shops and restaurants are going to be open as well. So, make an event out of it on Thursday and really support the downtown business owners, because they certainly need it, post-COVID, but it's a great opportunity to explore what we have downtown. Movie theater will be back open as well, and so there'll be all kinds of opportunities that happen around the farmers market.
We've got the movie theater, and then TCT will be opening, so that's why they're going to come out and start to work with the crowds and be out there and interact. Mm-hmm. We've got the historic downtown walk.
Yeah.
You can see some of our historic buildings, the murals. They're all there on display. So you can make it more than just the farmers market if you want to, and you get through your little walking, you make a few purchases, and you want to go walk the downtown. There's a lot of cool things, to do. The kids can play Pokemon. There's all the Pokemon hot spots, all over downtown. And there's, for those kids that do that, they even have those little sites where you can stop and repower your Pokemon. And why do I know? I have a grandson.
Too much.
Okay,
I have
a grandson, so that way I start to know these things.
I know. I had somebody one time stop me in Railroad Park. We had to turn the electrical outlets off because someone had plugged something in there that shorted them out. So we had to lock them. And this guy said, "Why'd you turn off?" He called them the phone chargers. And I said, "You mean the outlets?" And he said, "Yeah." And I told him, he said, "Oh, well, I used to charge my phone here because this is where I play Pokemon." And he was like 60.
It's supposedly a healthy walking alternative, something to do, but then you've got your head buried down in your phone.
Yeah, right.
But there are plenty of things to do. So if you come out for the farmers market, just plan on enjoying the evening. Yeah. We've got the great summer evenings here in Tehachapi, and we've got the outdoor dining with Petra's, and then you've got Kelsey's, mm-hmm. and you've got the Four Seasons Cafe, and there's even more, all within walking distance, that are just right here in downtown. Take advantage of what farmers market's bringing you down, and then there's something else to hook you and grab you.
Yeah, we'll try to get a great restaurant special going with each one of them too, so we can promote that and get people into their restaurants for sure.
I'm sure that, as soon as the restaurants hear that we want to do something, they were all on board with the small business loyalty program. That worked out very well for them. I would be surprised if there weren't that same kind of response of wanting to participate in some way.
We had a couple that actually wanted to have a booth and make food. And I said, well, it's kind of a lot of work for you to pick up some of your operation, go get a separate temporary vendor's permit, a tent, all that stuff that has to be health department compliant. When you have a walking distance restaurant, how about we just not put any competition for you in the market, and then and they were like, that's even better, because then I don't have to, I'll still cook the same food and put it on special, but then I don't have to, do all the other stuff involved with that. So
yeah, and you can find their specials at our booth. Where City of Tehachapi will have their own booth.
So we're going to have a little, like an information booth, mm-hmm. where you're going to be located managing the market, and so you'll have everyone that's there, a list of all the different vendors, and then the local specials that are going on nearby.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That makes it really nice. I know in past we've had our market managers have kind of pulled double duty for Main Street, where they've had their own booth plus they were managing. So it makes it a little bit more challenging for them to pull that double duty. But here, your main responsibility is going to be making sure that the market runs smoothly, both for the consumer that's coming in and for the vendors that are on place. Mm-hmm. So yes. I think that'll make it run even smoother. And then thanks to our public works, they're going to have things set up. They're going to have the roads closed ahead of time, no parking on the street as we've done in the past, but it should be, with all the downtown parking we have, the public parking lots that are on Robinson and off of F Street and then off of Tehachapi Boulevard, that's plenty of places to park to walk a short distance.
Yeah, and the road, as of, I think it was last year, we put in the safety bollards along Green Street as well to make it a little bit safer, because even with giant road closed signs, from time to time, somebody would either pull through an alley and get kind of confused. And so there are now, safety bollards along there. So those public works folks put those in so cars can. So it makes it a really safe event space too on top of that. So really nice to have them on board. And then of course, our police department helps out too once in a while. And it's now that we kind of have sort of control of it all, it makes it a little bit easier.
Now, I know one question is going to come up. Whatever, as far as like with the COVID protocols, we're following whatever comes down from the state, that goes to the county health department, which then tells us. So whatever's going on in the state as far as requirements is what's going to be required at the market.
Correct.
So we just follow along. This isn't going to be anything different. There's not going to be more protocols or more restrictions. It's going to be whatever the state guidelines are. That's what we're following. So it makes it very easy. And then what are you still looking for? I know you mentioned honey. So if we've got any honeybee hive, I don't know, what do you call
Apiaries?
them?
Beekeepers.
Are they apiaries?
I don't know.
I think apiary.
Okay.
APIARY.
Well,
That's what a honeymaker is.
Okay. Well, if you're in that honey business, Mariana's looking for you right now.
Yes.
Any other type of produce or
Maybe
product?
plants, succulents. We would absolutely love plants to hop on board. We got baked goods today, but we'll take more baked goods.
So there's room for more additional baked goods if someone's got that as a
Definitely.
business. Okay, great. And then what are some of the requirements that they have to go through if there's a new business that maybe has that? Do they have to go to the health department first? Do they start here? What do they do?
So, for example, if the vendor already has a restaurant in Kern County, they wouldn't have to get a health permit over because they already have one for their restaurant. But if they are a vendor, let's say baking from home, they would have to contact Kern County Health Department and get a health permit along with a temporary food permit. If they have any questions, or if you're out there and you want to join Farmers Market, but you don't actually have a physical business or a physical restaurant in town, just contact me and I'll go ahead and give you the contact info for Kern County Health Department. And it's easy, it's breezy. I've asked some of the vendors what it was like to get in contact with them, and they said it was super simple. They just told her exactly what they needed.
Government's
It's
not
not
supposed to work
bad.
like that. It's
They're
supposed to
super
be
helpful.
complicated.
Yeah, no, they really are helpful. And, Michelle and her team, that we've talked to Michelle on the show,
Right.
but other folks there, they're just really helpful because we do the 4th of July festival as well. And we have to get a lot of the same permits for events and things like that. And yeah, it's usually a piece of cake. They work really well with the vendors too. So
Good deal. So again, if people want to, if they're interested in maybe looking at a booth to fill a slot that you need, or if they're looking for more information, your contact information again?
661-822-2200. I'm at extension 102.
Mariana, thank you so much for all the hard work you put in. I know you came in here with pages and pages of notes to work on this.
I wasn't sure what to expect.
Well, I was going to say, so that leads up. Is there anything else that maybe we didn't ask that you think would be important to get out?
If you're looking for an application, make sure to visit our website at liveuptotehachapi.com. There's a logo on the bottom, Farmers Market. Just go ahead and click on that. It'll tell you exactly what we need or what you need to attend Farmers Market and to become a vendor. And again, you can contact me if you have any questions. The more the merrier. We'd love to have you at our Farmers Market this year.
And if we added Farmers Market to the Text My Gov,
I do not know if we've done that.
I'm going to
That's a
check
good
and see
question.
because we'll add
Should I try
farmers.
right now?
Yeah, let's do that real quick.
I'll try right now.
And we'll see because then we'll make sure that the application's available mobile. So if you probably text in farmers or Farmers Market, we'll send you the to the page where the application is. Make it super easy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's the big test. Farmers Market. Send it to my Text My Gov number. Bang, it's got it. It says the Tehachapi Farmers Market is held during the summer months on Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. For more information, visit our website. And for more information, contact our market manager
There you
with
go.
the phone number.
Mariana Gutierrez.
See, we're making it easy for you. We're almost everything but going to your house, picking up your gear and bringing it here.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Well, Mariana, thank you so much for joining us. You work hard up there at the front desk, you and your team up there. You get all the good and the bad, right? So I'm thinking this is probably on the good side.
Oh, it's definitely on the good side.
And it's
I'm loving every minute of this.
the positivity that's going to come with it as we start to reopen. You're kind of one of the key holders, if you will, to reopening of Tehachapi, one of those normalcy things that we can check the box on.
And you'll be super stressed during the first one. That's natural. And then after that, it'll just be easy. I was super stressed for the first 4th of July festival. And now it's like, it just kind of does itself. It's a few little piece of paperwork, a couple phone calls, and this thing is handled. So
Yeah.
a little bit easier.
I was telling Key the other day, it's almost like planning another wedding.
If you planned a wedding, this is probably much easier because you're not dealing with family and guests.
Definitely.
Well, again, Mariana, thank you so much. We encourage everyone to reach out to Mariana if you have any questions or if you'd like to look at a sponsorship availability or if you're a vendor that's looking to find a home here for the Thursdays in the summer between June 3rd and September 30th. Thursdays in Tehachapi. Call Mariana at 661-822-2200, extension 102.
Thanks, Key.
Farmers Market, Corey. You know, it's one of those things that you check off as summer comes.
Yeah.
You look forward to it. I'm so happy that we've got this extended schedule.
Yeah.
I think this is big deal. You know, people look forward to it, but the fact that we include all of our local farmers is huge.
It's big. It's farmers locally in Tehachapi, in Kern County, you know, and then even, you know, we pointed out going later into the summer months to allow our local vendors to bring some of their stuff. But these folks that are here all year have different things that time of year too. Remember, I mean, the produce is going to blossom and be harvested. So even the folks that are here all year will have something different in September than they did necessarily in June. And that's always cool to see that sort of, and I like to go and just, you know, I'll plan a meal around something I got at farmer's market on a Thursday. I'll say, there's eggplant here today, whatever. And then you go home and you make that, right? So that's kind of cool to have that happen. And that'll sort of evolve as the year goes on.
I remember last year there were some blood oranges that came in. And I happened to like an adult beverage that had blood orange slices you could add to it. Oh my gosh, they were so good. It just adds that little bit of freshness, you know, to it. So whether you
I took your advice, did the same thing. I think I texted you and said, you were right. This is a game changer.
If you, whether it's an accent to a meal or you're planning out that meal, there's something there for everyone. There's fruits, vegetables, the baked goods, you know, plus all the essential items and the other arts and crafts, which is going to be nice. So
cooking herbs too. I mean, you're rosemary, that kind of stuff, like nothing like fresh rosemary on anything changes the entire meal. Yeah.
Real flavors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all going to be at the Tehachapi Farmers Market this summer, beginning June 3rd, going through September 30th. That's just right around the corner.
Maybe we should do one of those like cooking booths. Maybe we'll be out there. You know, you just go to like fairs. They'll have the guys selling the Ginsu knives in like the exhibit hall, trying to show you how to make something with these miracle pans.
If we do that, we'll have to invite Allie Triolo from the county, who is hosting a cooking show. She said on Channel 17. We'll have to invite her to,
there you go.
To show
us
how to go
figure
through
out,
that.
because they might have some folks that, and then maybe they might sell, if they have anyone selling meat and pork products or something, we can cook it right there in front of the people.
And Adventist Health, Tehachapi Valley, the Adventist Health has a cooking show, a healthy a cooking show. So maybe Kiyoshi will come up from Bakersfield, and maybe we can put him in charge of hosting our own show.
We'll get those headset mics on like they do at the swap meets and trying to sell people something. We'll make a miracle meal out of something we find at the farmer's market.
Another thing that we've got downtown are flags, and we now just opened up our Adopt a Flag, the United States flag, and they're proudly displayed on our downtown light poles. And then now we've just opened up that opportunity to sponsor those poles, so you can have a little plaque placed right there where the flags are, and they'll be just in time because it's going to happen before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So it'll be for every farmer's market. If you find a pole that's available, you can adopt that flag.
Yeah, the flag goes up, and that'll fly from basically it's Memorial Day, right before Memorial Day through pretty much Veterans Day, and then we put the Christmas decorations up, and the snowflakes usually stay through the winter. I'd say Christmas, but we actually, because it's kind of a snowflake and it has obviously a winter, the
winter
Christmas
theme to
holiday, but it's got a winter theme, so we keep those up till probably through February normally. So just a few months of downtime. There's nothing on those poles the rest of the time. It's the American flag, and they look fantastic. I can't wait till they're up because springtime, when everything's green and put the flags up, it's a great shot for downtown.
And the nice thing with that combination, you bring in the Christmas decorations. Grace Delgado in our front desk that works side by side with Mariana, she is in charge of the Adopt a program. Mm-hmm. So we've got Adopt a Flag, Adopt a Decoration, Adopt a Landscape. All of those can be done by contacting Grace at 661-822-2200, extension 103. Or after you talk to Mariana, you could ask Mariana to just transfer you over to Grace over at extension 103, and you can adopt a flag to go along with or adopt the pole.
Or you can text adopt the flag.
That's true.
In your keyword to TextMyGov, and it'll say for information on our adopt the flag, adopt the landscape, or adopt an ornament program visit, and it's got a link to our website.
And that's the sponsor form, and you can send it right to Grace. Super easy. That's the new technology that we're bringing in to make life easier to talk to government.
And even if it's one of those, I wonder about the farmers market, send that text, and you'll get information.
Folks, if you've got a question, a thought, a show idea, Corey and I would love to hear it. Mm-hmm. Just send us an email, media@TehachapiCityHall.com. That's where some of our shows have come together thanks to your participation. Corey, anything else that you want to throw out, talk about that we didn't mention before we close?
No, I think we're getting ready. Hopefully in the next few days, we'll have more details about 4th of July. So we're excited to announce that and get those details out as that event is returning. So really happy about doing that. And we did fireworks last year, but this year, less cloak and dagger and a fireworks display and a festival we'll be returning to. So we'll get details out about that.
See, that's pretty exciting. That's a nice tease because we were one of the only cities, very few cities in California to still do their fireworks display. So we're, as I kind of told you earlier, we're consecutive in years in our fireworks display where some cities took a break. We didn't.
I was trying to think about how many, I don't know. I mean, I know since my family was here in 1981, there was one happening. I think it started probably a few years before that by the old Tehachapi Volunteer Fire Department, who used to come around, literally knock on your door and ask for donations and a fire helmet to pay for the fireworks show. So anyway, we're at a point now where the city can afford to pay for that show. We have a great vendor who does a phenomenal job. But I'm curious now to actually dig into the archives and try to figure out when this thing actually started so we can tout our consecutive years.
So we'll be talking about that in detail in one of the future shows here on Tehachapi. Again, send us that email. Thoughts, ideas. We're here to take them in and see if we can find the guests to fill those answers. Media@Tehachapi City Hall. Corey Costello, I'm Key Budge. We thank you very much for your time. This is Tehachapi.
Tehachapi is a conversation about Tehachapi designed for the people who live here or who would like to know more about this mountaintop community. If you have a question you would like answered, email media@TehachapiCityHall.com. We will try to answer it on a future episode of Tehachapi.